There is a new corporate battle which is playing out. On one side is the top management at Religare, which is running things at the company. And on the opposite side is the single largest shareholder in the company, Religare, which is the Burman family, the Dabur Burman family. There is an open offer which is up in the air. And of course, there are allegations which are being traded by both sides, some of course very serious nature. Joining me right now is Mr. Mohit Burman, who's a member of the Burman family, who's also chairman of Dabur. Mr. Burman, great to have you with us here. Thank you for sitting down with CNBC-TV18. To your mind, sir, as I start, what is the state of play? What is the situation with Religare right now?
We're focusing on our open offer. We believe that everything is above board, and sooner than later all the regulators will give us the nod to proceed and close the acquisition.
But do you believe that this is now delayed and it perhaps will continue to get delayed, because this is now not just about the open offer, but there are other allegations about proprietary, etc. involved?
No, I don't believe so. We're waiting for a CCI approval, which we believe will come in a few weeks. After that, the RBI and IRDA, and finally the SEBI. With some of these regulators we already work with, as I'm already in two insurance companies, Aviva and Universal Sompo. So I don't think we should have any problem getting the regulators.
So first off the block will be CCI.
Yes.
And then the other regulators will come into play. With SEBI, you already filed a draft application.
Yes.
I mean, in terms of intentions, have you heard back from them?
Just routine questions which we are answering on a normal basis. Nothing of any concern.
Nothing about these the allegations which have been.
No. Just it's all in reference with basically with our offer and the pricing, etc.
Do you believe that these allegations and everything else which is happening will impact approval from the regulators? Because after all, this is a financial services company.
No, see, I don't foresee any problem, because we're here. We're doing everything above board. I'm here to answer to any regulators. I'm here, to provide them with any information they need. And baseless allegations will continue, mudslinging will continue, but we're going ahead and doing our job.
And you filed with the RBI and IRDA as well, or?
I'm not sure on the status. My merchant bankers, JM Financial, will be able to answer those questions.
Okay. I got that. Let's just rewind the clock a little bit and go to the origins of this entire fight. When do you believe, because you've been long-term shareholders, long-time shareholders of Religare.
Yes.
The person who's running Religare, Ms. Saluja, she's been at the helm of affairs for a while.
Yeah.
And things were going well. When did things start going, south in that sense?
We've been shareholders of Religare before Dr. Saluja. We came in both the prefs in 2018 and 2021, and the last acquisition of the shares was done I think June this year. But if you look at our history, we're associated with the company and helping the company in difficult times. And now to cast aspersions, they're saying we're not fit and proper. All the time when they required money, then we were leading the rounds, the investment rounds. So at that time, they felt we were all right. But now, after the open offer, which they accepted, which they put up a letter at the SEBI saying, in the stock exchange saying that they welcome us and they will work with us to the betterment of the company, suddenly they've changed their mind.
The board basically, just to go back, what caused the disruption, the rupture in that sense, in your opinion? As you said, I mean, you've been long-time shareholders and they were okay. Yeah. But now something went wrong. So that's
everything. Everything was fine until the chairperson needed to be voted back in. So of course, at that time she accepted she accepted our offer and said that she will help us in getting all the permissions, as well as helping us navigate getting into the business and making us understand the business. As soon as we voted her back in, now she's using all that against us.
But to be clear, did you want her to continue, or did you want, when the open offer bid happened, did you want her to continue as the helm of affairs, or What was the offer given to her? What was the discussion?
No, as far as we're concerned, listen, we don't want to upset the management as well as the board. We are professional. All our businesses are run professionally. Family members only take seats on the board. And even in this case, all our discussions were centered around the fact that at the most, we may supplement the board with some more people, who can add value to the business, and as well as provide capital to each of the businesses to take it to the next level. There was no question about us replacing anyone.
No, but you said right now that when she sort of understood that she perhaps will be voted out, and that's when she
well,
kind of.
I mean, if she assumes that, I don't know why, because as far as we were concerned, we wanted a smooth transition, and that's why we voted her back in.
But what was the offer specifically? That the executive chairperson position would be held by.
No, there were no negotiations to the to how the business and what positions anyone would hold after the open offer.
But roughly, was there an indication, because she would have gotten an indication from the conversation that you had? So they're just trying to understand. Did you offer her to continue on the board while?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there was no discussion on any replacement. And as far as we were concerned, we were happy to have her continue on the board. Now, as a chairperson or just as a board member was something which wasn't discussed.
Do you also believe that sort of asking for 2 seats on the board, which is what I believe you did,
yes,
that also was one of the reasons why this rupture happened?
Could be. I mean, we were always doing our association with this company from 2018. We were at many times promised a seat on the board, but never. It was never, taken to its conclusion. We were only asked informally, but never any invitation or anything like that. So, but we didn't even press for it at that time. It's only when we reached 21.5%, we just felt it was the right time to ask for 2 seats on the board.
Why is that? Because the law allows you to ask for a board seat after 10%.
Yeah.
Then, of course, it's up to the board to decide, right?
Yeah.
No,
we just felt that after reaching 21%, the money that we had put into this business was quite substantial, and we felt that that was the right time to ask for 2 seats on the board.
And you're saying that when you asked for 2 seats on the board, she accepted it.
But she heard me out, and she said she would get back. But
because you said that there was, you were in a way welcomed. The proposal was welcomed, etc. Initially.
Yeah. And so we were told that they would revert with the request. However, there was no revert on that.
So, Mr. Burman, what are you doing now in terms of all these allegations? And we're not used to seeing the Burman family or Dabur as a company, sort of involved with all of this. But what are you doing now to defend your interests and your position in Religare?
No, we're continuing with getting the regulatory approvals. We're continuing on meeting the shareholders. We believe all the shareholders, are backing us, and we believe we made a fair offer for the open offer, and we believe that this will conclude sooner than later.
You've also sort of made serious allegations about, in a way, insider trading against Ms. Saluja. Would you like to talk about that?
No, I mean, all I can say is that it's not fair for me to judge whether it's insider trading or not. All I've made everyone privy to is that their meetings had happened, and I had told them that we had told them that the open offer was coming. After that, shares were sold, and sold at a price which they say is too low for or similar to the price that we've offered for the shares. And the first accusation was that we are offering too low, but then you go and sell your shares at about the same price. Then where is the question of my offer being too low?
No, but what you're saying is that selling shares is fine, but the point is, and of course what it implies is also fine, but what you are saying is that something was done which is wrong in law. It was done at a time when the window was closed in that sense.
Well, again, it's not for me to judge that, but all I can say is that there was a meeting, and they were told that there was an open offer taking place, after which shares were sold. Now it's for SEBI to investigate on whether that's right or wrong.
Mr. Burman, another thing which you're saying is that the compensation that Dr. Saluja receives is is too high and it is completely out of line with any corporate kind of compensation. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, again, it's probably not right for me to say what is high or not high, but if you look at her compensation for a company that has no operating income, for a company that has just come out of having its problems, the compensation structure looks a little bit not in tandem with that sort of company. I mean, first, not only is the amount of compensation I feel is very high, but the perks, the stock options that have been taken, the stock options that are taken as a non-executive capacity in care, all this comes to hundreds of crores. Now it's for the regulators to see if this is the norm, but not for me really to be able to be a judge on whether this is fair or not.
But CEO compensation, to be fair, I mean, it's debatable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fair bit of criticism globally which happens around that.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, is this a recent phenomenon? Issuing sort of ESOPs to oneself, and has the value of compensation ballooned recently, and that's why you're bringing this up, or
no, of course,
it's
I
been
have. I mean, in a short space. I mean, she was brought into this company as an independent director. Within a short span of time, it went to a non-executive director, to an executive director, to an executive chairperson, and in the last 3 years, the compensation structure has ballooned. Not only that, where there have been stock options granted in subsidiary companies and have been denied by the regulator, it's all been maneuvered so that it doesn't have to go back to the regulator.
And you've raised this before as well, or this is the first time that you're raising this? I mean, over the years?
No, this is the first time.
No, internally, I mean, in your communication as shareholders, etc., over the years, have you raised this at all previously? No. This is the first time that you're raising it in any forum.
Yes.
In terms of what the other side is alleging, they're also kind of raising questions about whether the dabur, the Burman entity is fit and proper.
Yeah.
How would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, if after doing business in India for 140 years and being in a set of diverse businesses, we haven't met the fit and proper test, I don't believe that they have the right or the judge to make us fit and proper. We've been running, I mean, if you look at the regulators, we were the first ones to get an insurance license in 2000. We've been running insurance companies for the last 20 years. So obviously we meet the fit and proper test of the IRDA. We have NBFCs that meet the fit and proper test of RBI. And SEBI itself will, in the next few weeks, decide on whether we're fit and proper.
There's also the allegation that in a way you're fronting for the erstwhile promoters, the Singh brothers. And of course, there is also the name of a spiritual leader which is thrown in.
I've never met any spiritual leader. They said that the money's coming. We've never bought shares. All our investments have been through pref. So where's the question of buying shares from anyone? So I totally deny it, and I've never met any spiritual leader.
The allegation is that the money to do all of this, to sort of invest in the company, came from that source.
No, if you look at the background, all our businesses are profit-making businesses which give out enough dividends. And all the investments we made, even in the last acquisition we did ever ready, all comes from our dividend payments.
Are you sort of friends with the Singh brothers?
No.
Mr. Burman?
No.
Okay.
Haven't seen them in years.
Okay. No, and when you, so to the allegation that you're actually fronting for them,
Absolutely rubbish.
Okay. A lot of the communication which is coming from Religare, there is of course a mention of how all the independent directors on the board of Religare are sort of up in arms and against what you're doing. How would you respond to that?
Well, I'm yet to meet any independent director or hear of any independent director, having an objection. All the communications comes from the company saying independent directors, but no independent director has raised any inquiry which has come out in the public.
Have you made an attempt to meet some of these people? And if not, why not?
Yeah, we haven't made an attempt because as I said, until 2 weeks ago, until about a month ago, we were welcome in the company. It's only in the last few weeks that the company has become hostile. So we haven't made an attempt as of now because we're trying to find a solution and working on our open offer at the moment.
Do you feel that it was perhaps a bit of a mistake, an oversight, not to have engaged more closely with the company? Over the years?
No, see, we were engaging closely with the company for the last 5 years. I mean, the person who was in charge of the company was meeting us on a regular basis. They never she was always assuming charge, so there was never a way we could actually meet anyone else or any of the other independent directors.
Would you concede that under her leadership over the last couple of years, I mean, from a state of sort of floundering, the company's now actually come up to a more respectable, more steady level?
I mean, of course, but it's. I believe that the business. I wouldn't say the business, but the company's come out of its the troubles to a certain extent. But that doesn't only take one person. I mean, the full management, the management of the subsidiary companies, the shareholders who have put in money on a regular basis. It all works in tandem for any company to come out of its problems.
But you would agree that under her leadership, the business, of course, has, and that's the reason why you've stuck around as shareholders, right?
I mean, of course, the actual company to come out of its problems, of the elsewhere promoter problems, yeah, it's commendable.
And but you were only in touch with Dr. Saluja, not anyone else at the company. I mean, but do you think that you should have been? Maybe sort of, get to know the directors. Above 10%, you could have asked for a board seat, insisted on it perhaps much earlier.
No. Then this would have come out much earlier if I'd insisted. I mean, we were offered a board seat all the time, but it was never put into motion. How is this? How is a company like this, which is 100%, no promoter, 100% public, not even have one shareholder representative as a director? All the 5 directors, all nominees by the chairperson. So where's the question of it having good corporate governance?
Although to be fair, there are only I think 2 institutional investors, and then there is I mean, you as a large investor, right? So
no institutional investors.
I'm not sure what their status is in terms of whether they've been asked, they've been denied, or whatever. They were promised but never voted on.
Absolutely similar. You can.
But have you spoken to the other 2?
No. We believe not only the other 2. We believe all the shareholders are supporting us.
But have you spoken to the 2 large institutional shareholders?
Yeah, regular. There's always a regular dialogue.
After this entire thing.
There is a regular dialogue.
And what are they telling you?
No, we believe that we have their full support.
So if this were to go to some sort of a vote at some point, you think that you will come out?
Well, I hope it doesn't go to that stage. But I believe that even if it does go to that stage, then.
Mr. Burman, let's just talk about that open offer price. How significant do you think that is in this entire scheme of things, or you think it's gone beyond that? It's not about the price anymore. I mean, if tomorrow you were to raise the price, do you think things can be brought back on track?
No, as I said, I always believe an amicable solution can be worked out, and I don't believe it's the price, because we're well above the SEBI price formula. So I don't think it's well with the price. If there's someone else who's willing to give a higher price, then let them also make let them come in the fray. I don't mind. It's not something which we believe we've offered a fair price for the business, and let the shareholders decide.
Are you willing to go up?
Well, at this point of time, no, I'm not.
What would make you? I mean,
no, at this point of time, no, because I believe it's a fair price, and I believe when the open offer does happen, then we will be successful.
If this were to stretch on beyond a point, and you just said that, well, you will kind of furnish information and you expect this to be resolved, but if this is not, and it kind of goes on, lingers on, would you be willing to get out of the company? I mean, sell your shares and get out, or is that?
As I said, if the company says that we are not fit and proper, and they find someone else who offers more money, yeah, maybe, why not?
But, okay, fair enough. What about the care business, the healthcare business, which is what most investors are excited about? We actually at CNBC-TV18 reported a story, and maybe you can confirm it, that the first steps in terms of reaching out to merchant bankers, asking them to make a pitch, etc., for the IPO, that's started. This is just last week. I was surprised, but what we report is happening. I just wanted your sense.
It requires shareholder approval.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm not saying shareholder approval won't, may or may not come, but it requires it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. But given everything else which is happening, you think it's likely that we will see the care IPO sort of coming through, the stables Religare?
Well, unless the open offer first isn't sorted out, I doubt it will come.
You said amicable solution. You mentioned the word. What is the shape and form of an amicable solution to your mind?
No, I mean, listen, it is, when an open offer comes, it's inevitable. The shareholders have to decide. The shareholders themselves will decide on whether 235, my price is a fair price or not. If it's a fair price, and they tender their shares in, automatically we will reach a level where we will be in control.
Mr. Burman, though, to be fair, I must say that I spoke to one of the large
Yeah.
shareholders, institutional shareholders. When the open offer price came through, it was 230. The price was 235. The current market price was 270.
Yeah.
The feedback that I had gotten back then, of course, now the price is much lower, is that they would not have tendered.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. As I said, I mean, as
You say put it to a vote,
yeah,
and then
that's fine. As far as I'm concerned, if the price is too low and shareholders don't want to tender at that price, they're not welcome to. They probably believe that once the Burman family takes control, the share price will go much higher.
right. For that, you have to the open offer has to succeed for you to take control. That's the point. So that's what I'm
But
saying.
we're already at 22%. I don't foresee. Once the CCI approval comes in, and we're okay to buy more shares. So I don't foresee a problem.
Where do you want to go up to? I mean, eventually, what did you have in your mind when you kind of?
Well, listen, we made an open offer for a full 26% more. So as far as I'm concerned, the more we get, the better. But I don't foresee any control issue.
Once again, let me ask you: how long did? I mean, it's a new story. I mean, you did not expect this. It's broken over the last 1 month or so. How long do you think this entire saga will take? And do you foresee you're still making many more trips to Mumbai with all the regulators here?
I think it'll be sooner than later. I mean, I foresee a few more months, but and I love coming to Bombay, so I'm happy to be back again.
Is there any other way? I mean, I'm sure you've been speaking with your bankers, etc. Is to sort of take this to some sort of a vote, and have you been discussing options?
No, but I mean that is an option, but it's an option we don't want to exercise at this point. But it is an option.
Mr. Burman, just to press on that point, that option that you were talking about, which is calling for EGM and asking shareholders to vote on whether they like the current management at top and whether they'd like a new leader at the top, and why is that not an active topic under consideration?
That's an option you were talking about. But as far as we're concerned, we are evaluating various options. At this point of time, as I said, we're concentrating on our open offer. We're concentrating on answering all the questions that the different regulators have. We believe we've made a fair and above board offer for the company, and therefore we will keep on focusing on that. Other options are there, but as of now, we are not.
I'm just pressing on that option because obviously this has gone beyond just the open offer price with the allegations which have been traded. I mean, it's kind of very inconceivable that you will now be willing to work if the open offer goes through and you get to where you want to get to in terms of shareholding. You'll be able to work with the current person at top, and that's the reason why I mean, eventually it will perhaps come down to that. At some point
well,
down
as
the
I
line.
said, we have various options, and we are being advised by able the legal team as well as our merchant bankers. And as I said, we will only look at those options once we have a situation where we need to exercise those.
So right now the focus is to get the open offer, through.
Yes.
Just sort of before I wind up, talk to us a little bit about what your plans at Religare are. What's the vision for Religare? And it's an entity with lending business, there's the insurance business, and just
so historically we have been in a lot of these financial services businesses. That's why, as I told you earlier, we met the fit and proper test for all of them. We have 2 insurance companies. We've had a broking company before, Espirito Santo. We've had a mutual fund company with Fidelity. All different joint ventures with some of the biggest brands in the world. We've always got permissions. We've always met the fit and proper test. In this case, Religare has 4 distinctive businesses. Of course, the flagship is the healthcare business, which is run by very capable professionals, and we will of course supplement that if they require capital with the other 3 businesses. Again, we will provide capital, we provide good management, and and the management who are there, if they're capable, they will continue to run those businesses, and we hope to scale all of them up in due time.
And at some point the CARE IPO as well, once the shareholder approval goes through.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Burman.
you.
Great to speak with you.
Pleasure. Thank you.